What's going on, all my homies? We have someone coming from Chicago to join the 33 Club. It has been a huge networking bowl of success between me, Brittany Beers, and Blackout, which is totally awesome. We have Mr. SALADIN coming on the 33 Club, coming from Chicago. He has his own record label company, and him and I are collabing on something which is really cool. It's coming out in April. We're going to talk about that right. What's up, everybody? So as I mentioned before, we have a very awesome guy coming from Chicago. It's such a small world out there. I met him through Brittany Beers and also Blackout, which you guys already know. We have Larry SALADIN, who also goes by SALADIN. Is it DJ SALADIN or just SALADIN?
Just SALADIN.
Just SALADIN? Awesome, man. So we have SALADIN here, who wants to join the 33 Club, and I brought him on because he is super informative on the record label aspect, and we have something exciting to share with you guys. And I won't get into it too much. Let's just jump right into the interview. So, SALADIN, again, guys, also known as Larry, tell me a little bit about yourself as a DJ.
Well, I'm located in Chicago, like you said. I've been in the music industry for a long time. My SALADIN project, I launched that about 3 or 4 years ago. I changed things around and, transformed myself into this person. I'd say for the past 4 or so years, I've been banging out tracks of SALADIN, playing gigs across the U.S., stuff like that.
Heck yeah. And what is your style as a producer? Because you're producing music as well, right?
Yes, yeah. I started as a producer, actually. I was a producer before I was a DJ. I mean, I probably produced at least one track of any genre you could think of. What I'm mainly known for is like the bass house, G house stuff.
That's awesome. So how long have you been producing?
About 10 years, 11 years.
And what about DJing?
4 or 5.
Okay, and when you're DJing, do you have a specific genre that you like to mix in your set?
Mostly I play the type of stuff I produce, bass house, G house. I throw some funky tech house in there sometimes, but I mean, I have played gigs where I play hard techno. I've played big room. I played progressive. Do I like playing that stuff? Not really my cup of tea, but I've tried to do it all, actually.
Okay, so we're in the year 2020 right now. Who are your top 3 famous producers of 2020 that you're really just digging right now?
So that's a good question. But Dr. Fresh is really dope. Tony's a good guy. I got to meet him. There's another homie, Cheyenne Giles, out of San Diego. He's pretty dope. He just he's doing a lot of stuff with Musical Freedom, Tiesto's label, so he's been doing some really good stuff. My buddy Paul from Ghetto Blaster, they're more tech house stuff.
A good list for producers, but do you have top 3 DJs for 2020?
I mean, Chami's dope.
Everyone is loving him lately.
Yeah, I mean, AC Slater does some dope sets too. You know who else I'm really liking actually is Kendall. She's on Night Bass, and I think she's on Confession too. She's dope. Dude, she is dope, dude. Her track Call Me Daddy. It's got like that kind of like old school hard house acid vibe to it. She's got some really, really cool stuff coming out.
Do you mix a particular DJ or producer in your sets that is just like your to-go-to, is gonna like pump the crowd?
Say myself, anything by Dr. Fresh or Bijou. I always play something from Dr. Fresh. Tony's a good guy. He's a dope producer. Awesome personality too. He's awesome.
But I noticed you have your own label on your hat.
Funk Records.
Funk Junk Records. I want to talk about that. And then so really quick, before we get into that, tell me a little bit about Funk Junk Records and what it is all about.
I launched Funk Junk Records in 2012. So we're 8 years old right now. The reason I launched Funk Junk was because I was a newer producer at the time. Nobody wanted to work with me. Like literally nobody wanted to work with me. It's just I didn't have a name for myself. I just wasn't catching any luck. And I had a lot of friends that were having the same problem.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to start my own label, start releasing our stuff, get our names out there, right? Just say, hey, we're on a label already, which helps. A lot of these bigger labels, they want to know who you've already released with.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I created Funk Junk, was to actually start getting our music out there, me and some of the friends. So, and like I said, we just turned 8 and we have over 200 releases in the past 8 years.
That's awesome, man.
I mean, we've had some really good luck. I mean, we've
Hmm.
had actually one of my tracks, "Party All Night," that was actually on Billboard, and we've had just numerous releases on the charts. Mainly Beatport, but also some Track Source,
Hell yeah.
Geo Download, a couple of those places. We've had some luck on the charts, but we've done really good at hitting, you know, at least the top 20 on some of these genre charts on Beatport.
Hell yeah. Well, and I want to talk about how you and I got connected and what I wanted to lead into with this. So, my whole channel is based around getting unknown DJs and producers recognition. And I'm going to go back to what you touched on because you said it perfect. Like when I first started, and I feel like I'm still starting. June will be about 2 years for me of being a DJ and producer. So I still feel
Sure.
like I'm a bedroom DJ and whatnot. But I just found like when I was making decent tracks, like everyone was like, "Oh, whatever. Like, who is this guy? He's unknown." And it was super super hard for me to get my name out there. So the whole idea behind my channel is to support local artists and people who are just killing it, such as Brittany Beers and Blackout. And when I interviewed Brittany, it was kind of like, well, I'm going to do this channel and I'm going to do these videos just for like the heck of it. And then when Brittany did it, Blackout, and a few other people, it was really gaining traction, which is awesome. I had Take on the show, but then it also led into our connection through Brittany. Tell me about like how did you hear about? And I don't want to mention the track, but I'm gonna put this out there for you guys. Um, Larry and I, we're actually working together, and we're doing a release of one of my tracks. We want to keep it really discreet right now. So, Larry, thank you so much for kind of investing into me as a record label. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm just shocked. Like, it was so crazy because it was like December 30th or December 31st. I was like, this year, like, I'm going to push it. And you were the first person to reach out to me. Like, how did you find my sound? Was it through the YouTube channel or was it through Brittany Beers?
Through Brittany's interview, you did. I watched it. She had mentioned me in it, so I had watched this and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then then you and I just kind of started chatting about
Uh-huh.
how I liked the video interview and stuff, and then that led to you sending me some of your music. And like I said, I heard one I like, so it's going to be coming out, I think, in April.
So, guys, we can't tell you which track it is, but we're going to do a lot of promo when it comes about that time period, about 2 weeks out, and we're just going to push it. And to be honest, Larry, I did a lot of research on you. So there is that little bit of like time period when we were talking. I reached out to a lot of friends here in Colorado Springs and also Brittany as well. And I was like, hey, like, what do you think of Larry and Funk Junk? Even with Blackout, and they had nothing but like really positive things to say about you. So I think it's going to be really awesome. And I want to touch on this really quick for people who are interested with sending you demos. What genres, what sound are you looking for, and how do they get a hold of you to send you their work?
Mostly bass house, some tech house, a little bit of future house and G house. That's what we're mainly looking for. That's kind of what we've done the best in with charting and stuff like that. As far as sending in demos, if you go to our website, www.funkjunk.com, and Funkjunk is PHUNK, junk, JUNK.com. If you go to our official website, you'll see a button on the menu that says demo submission, and there's a form on there you can submit your music to us, and we listen to demos daily, and we respond to everybody, good or bad.
That's actually really refreshing to hear that because I'm sure you've been discouraged where you thought you've had a killer banging track and you send it to this record label, but then you hear nothing from
You
them.
hear nothing back from them, and then it makes you feel worse.
Yeah, it does. You're like, oh shit,
I
like
mean, I'd rather hear if the record's going to get declined by a label, I'd rather at least say it's declined or something. That's kind of what I always felt like. Even if I decline the record and don't want to sign it, I'd rather let them know just so they know. Because
oh,
otherwise,
absolutely.
people kind of they're hanging on by a string and they're just kind of waiting and they don't know what the hell to do. So I mean, and you never know when I might decline, one of the big labels might accept. So you never know. So.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
If you're
I
just hanging
probably
on by if you're just hanging on there not knowing what the hell's going on, it kind of sucks.
Oh, it does. And man, I probably sent over 100 tracks to different labels, and I've never heard from them. The one who's been really good is Laidback Luke with Mix Mash, where he did his live demo reviews on his vlogs. But
Sure, yeah.
other than that, it can be really, really tough. But I just thought of this question right now, so we're going to add in another question. This typically happens during these 33 questions that I ask. But what do you think of websites like Label Radar, where you pay a monthly subscription to put your music in front of big labels? What are your thoughts on those?
I personally am not crazy about it. I like the concept how you could search the labels, but to actually have to pay, because I think with Label Radar you get like X amount of credits per month. I'm not a big fan of having to buy the credits, but that's just me personally. But I do like the concept how you could just go on Label Radar and contact any of the labels that are, taking demos. Like I said, just not a fan of having to pay for it, but that's just me personally.
To be honest, so one of the first things I did this year was I looked into Label Radar, and like you were saying, I think it's awesome how you can research them.
Yeah, like Armada's on there now, Monster Cat. There's some solid labels on there.
Yep. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great reputable labels. But then what I noticed, there was some underground labels, like unknown labels that were trying to sign me, but they were poaching me to sell their product, which is their mastering and like promotion services.
Sure, yeah.
And that really discouraged me to working with like Label Radar, which really hurts them. So I wanted to get your input as a label owner, whether you think those are beneficial or if you should just continue to do your own research for labels and keep sending them your demos.
I mean, my best advice for shopping a song to a demo is research the label. I mean, I get a lot of demos that are genres we would never even sign, like trance or big room. And I mean, I understand people are just trying, but if let's say you make G House, research your G House labels. What labels are releasing that sound? Don't send a G House record to a happy hardcore label or a hard techno label because it just doesn't make sense. So when submitting your demos, really try to do some research on what labels have that sound. Like what I used to do even is I would go, okay, I make bass house. I would go on Beatport and look up what labels are on the bass house section.
I used to do that too.
That's your best bet.
Yeah. That's some really great advice. I never even thought to mention that, but I used to do that too. Just go on Beatport and see who was like signed to different labels and do my research on them.
Yeah, or like let's say you like Bijou or Dr. Fresh. Go on his profile, see what labels he's working with, and try to reach out to those.
Absolutely. So on the line of labels, in the year 2020, like what are your top 3 goals for your label Funk Junk? What do you have in store and kind of your goal, your accomplishments you want to see happen this year?
Like to see more of our artists succeed. Like Brittany got to do Groove Cruise and stuff like that. Blackout's been playing a lot of gigs around here. A lot of our artists from all over, we work with artists all over the world. It's crazy.
Hell yeah.
But watching my artists succeed is great.
I'm sure you have like a really big like sense of accomplishment that you helped find that artist and got them built to where they are now.
Yeah, pretty much. I've helped a lot of artists over the year. I mean, I've had artists come and go. Some might release a song with us and then, all right, Funk Junk's, this or that. We don't want to work with them. We want to go higher. We want to be revealed or, ultra, stuff like that, which is fine. But I just like to see my artists succeed. And I would like to see our releases keep creating a buzz. Like, I just want people to keep playing. It's not even about the money. I want people to play our music.
Yeah.
But when I go on, there's a website, 1001 Track List, which I'm a reporter on. I post my mixes and music I play. But like when I see my stuff or the label stuff, like personally, I got a release actually coming out tomorrow on Funk Junk. It's called For the Homies. It's a 4-song EP. Like we've already had support from Kreider, Gaup, David Guetta.
I was just about to ask that. Yeah, tell me a little bit about David Guetta. How did you find out about that?
Well, we did a big promo campaign through a company called Relish PR. And they helped us. I mean, we do have a good contact list of, big DJs we send music to, but they're the ones that helped out with the David Guetta thing. And he played my song "Do It Like This" in his mix like 2 weeks ago and reported it to 1,001 track list. So, and I noticed because like as a label, I have I can check stats on a lot of things. And Shazam, Shazam on the phone where you could tell what song is playing. That song has hit like 1,000 Shazams in the past 2 weeks. It's crazy.
Nice. Dude, so that's super exciting.
Listening and liking, and that's what really like makes me excited.
Yeah, dude, congrats.
Well, David Guetta played our song, but this shows that people are liking it. They wanted to know what the song was. That's what really makes me excited. I mean, okay, David Guetta, you played our song. Thank you so much. But people liking the song, that knowing he played it, that's even more fun.
And that makes me feel good. Like, so again, guys, I'm working with Larry. I'm getting signed to Funk Junk. I don't want to tell you what, but that makes me very confident and comfortable working with a label such as yourself that is getting recognition through David Guetta. That makes me feel like I made a good decision and like getting my track signed by you. So
yeah, the label we've been supported by like Morgan Page, Ahmed Ozcan.
Let's dive into the label part. So people who are interested in sending you demo submissions to get on your label, what can they expect? Like, how do you promote their music, whether through Beatport, iTunes, Google Play? What are the steps afterwards to get that music out there for it to be heard by, thousands of people?
Sure. Well, one of the first things we do after we sign is we get the artwork right. The process, we get the artwork ready, the contracts, all that stuff. Then we upload to the distributor. Usually what we do is 2 to 3 weeks before the release date, we'll send out the promo to. We have two lists. We have a radio list that gets everything, like our radio DJs, they get everything. And then we have a separate, I'm not going to send a tech house record to, like I said, a progressive house DJ. So I kind of have a sorted list of who gets what. So if it's a tech house record, we send it out to people who would actually listen to it. I don't want to send a tech house record to a trance DJ because it's going to annoy them, number one, that they're getting, they're just going to be like, why do these people keep sending us music we'll never play?
Right.
So I make sure we send it to people who actually take the time to listen to it and hopefully play it. And then once we do that, we work with certain blogs and stuff like that on getting promotion done. They'll do a write-up. We do little things like that. But our biggest support is promos, sending out promos to the DJs.
Okay. And I'm sure you're for at least a week or two, you're pretty heavy on posting on social media, getting the word out there to get some following behind this track. Awesome. So guys, that's pretty huge. I've tried to work with labels in the past and they don't do any of that. And so even for Saladin to go out there for his label Funk Junk and really try to back that as much as possible, that's really awesome. I'm going to be honest, in my experience, it's been hard to find that with smaller labels. They kind of just expect you to do the groundwork.
Yeah, it literally just goes out of the store and that's it. They don't promote it, nothing.
Right. What is some advice that you have for aspiring producers that are trying to get signed to labels?
Just have good material. Make sure your mix and master is proper. I know it sucks these days, but you have to have a presence. Your social media has to be. I'm not saying you got to have 26 million followers, but if you have 3 to 4 or 5,000 followers and they're legit followers, it makes the label feel better because it knows it's going to people are going to get reached out to.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's some labels that want to know your stats. Like you fill out the demo form, they want to know how many followers you have, or they'll ask for all the links to your social media and they'll investigate.
This is a really good question. So being that you have your own record label, when you're looking to sign someone to your label, do you factor them into a category if they can DJ or not? Or is it purely based around if they can produce music?
Produce music.
Yeah.
I mean, they DJ and they're known as a DJ, that helps, but it doesn't matter too much to me. It's more your production skill, to be honest.
As a record label owner, this is going to be a kind of a touchy subject because it always gets a lot of, I don't know what you call it, red flags. It gets heat, but being in the music industry for as long as you've been, you have your own record label and you produce and DJ. What do you think about people who can actually DJ and people who use pre-recorded sets. Do you have any advice for people and aspiring DJs and producers whether to mix as a real DJ or use pre-recorded sets?
Real DJ. I'm against the pre-recorded stuff. I understand where it comes in, like how it works with some of the, I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but some of these bigger names,
yeah,
they have these pre-recorded sets, and I mean, obviously, if you're doing cartwheels and backflips during your set, how the hell are you going to, be listening for the next song to bring it in?
Right.
So, I mean, I understand, it's a show. They put on a show, and then it hits its place, but personally, I would never do it. I would rather have certain little flaws in my live set than just hit a button and dance around.
Oh, I totally agree.
Me personally, everybody's got their own opinion.
Okay, so now we're going to get into the rapid fires. I love these because it gives an opportunity for the viewers to learn about you as a DJ, producer, and record label, and most importantly, as a person. So, what's your favorite animal?
A good dog.
A dog? Why is that?
Because I have one.
What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Steak. Oh.
I'm a steak person. New York strip steak, medium rare. I'm in heaven.
What's your favorite color?
Black.
How come?
Makes you look thin.
What about your favorite number?
3.
3? Do you have like any significant ties to the number 3?
The number 3 comes in everything. It'd be too long to explain, but the number 3 pops up everywhere.
All right. What about your favorite actor?
Al Pacino. He's great. He's amazing. He's played every kind of character you could think of.
He's doing his first TV series too.
Is he?
Yeah. I just saw that advertisement.
Great. Did you watch The Irishman on Netflix?
Yeah.
Dude,
that was
great.
awesome.
Jimmy Hoffa, man, he was great.
Do you have a favorite actress?
Nah, not really.
I don't want to take a leap of faith on this one. I would say bass house might be your favorite genre. Am I off on that? What is your favorite genre of EDM?
Bass house.
Oh, nice. I called it.
Any genre? I'm a huge hair metal fan.
Hair metal.
I'm talking about Guns N' Roses. I'm a huge Prince fan. I love Motley Crue. And I love like 80s new wave, like Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
New Order, like that stuff's great. Real quick, I would never DJ it or make it, but I do love trance.
Trance?
Yeah, I like to listen to trance mixes when I'm just chilling.
How many tracks are you mixing in an hour?
I mean, it depends, anywhere from 40 to 50.
Nice.
Stuff like that. It really depends.
What is your biggest accomplishment, either as a DJ and producer, that you've personally had a great opportunity to say, I've done that?
Oh, okay. I got a couple things that I'm very proud of. As far as gigs, I played 2 festivals. I played Spring Awakening here in Chicago, and I played an official sound camp at Lost Lands 3 years ago.
Sweet.
I've played some of the biggest clubs. I played in Brooklyn. I played in Miami. I played in LA, at Avalon, the main stage. I played in Tempe, Arizona. I played in Indianapolis. You name it, I played it. This weekend, actually coming up, I'm playing in 2 shows in Minneapolis. I'm headlining one of them at Rev Ultra Lounge on February 29th. As far as production, I've signed tracks with Revealed, which is Hardwell's label, an old school awesome label, Tommy Boy Records, that was known for a lot of old school hip hop, and Bob Sinclair, Chucky's Dirty Dutch label, Syrup, Trax Records, which is one of the original house music labels. I got some stuff coming out on Wild Card, which is Vanilla Ace's label. Also Tiger Records. I've had some releases on Play Records. I've been on a lot of labels, man. I've been really blessed to work with a lot of cool labels.
Nice.
Those are some of my biggest accomplishments. But my biggest accomplishment that's not just personal is actually building with Funk Junk. I've actually built like a family. Like I talk to all my artists. I'll shoot the shit with them. Sometimes they'll ask me for advice on things. That's probably my biggest accomplishment, is what I've built as a little Funk Junk in like our community. That's probably my biggest accomplishment.
I do want to give you a shout out right now. And guys, like, I've done my research on labels. I've sent dozens upon dozens of tracks to different labels. And the thing that I've noticed, you'll have some people who are very open and they'll talk to you, and others, and the majority with my experience, they either blow you off and they have this ego that they're just like kind of hot shit. And when you and I first started talking about signing one of my tracks, I had a lot of questions. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
But I was like, I want to fill this guy out. I want to see.
Didn't I answer all of them?
Oh, yeah. And like, one of your accomplishments, man, is making me feel comfortable. So if you've probably made me feel comfortable, I feel like you've had the huge accomplishment with letting people know, like, hey, I just want to promote your music. Ask any question that you want. And to me, that's a huge milestone as a record label.
Ignore all your questions and be like, do you want to sign or not? You know?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not like that. Like, if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
Do you have a routine before a set that like just gets you in the zone to kill it?
I hang out in the crowd.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
You can ask anybody. I don't care. You know, a lot of artists, they'll just want to hang out backstage or in the green room. I go in the crowd and hang out with everybody.
You know, I noticed that with you guys, because you guys, you and Blackout just played a set over the weekend, and they were posting on their story. And I saw you guys in the crowd. I was like, holy crap, that's pretty awesome that they did that.
Yeah, I go in the crowd. I don't even tell people I'm one of the DJs. I'll literally just go in the crowd and hang out. Sometimes I'll dance a little bit, depends what kind of mood I'm in, but like, I just hang out. You know, I'm 2 years clean and sober, so I just grab a bottle of water or a Red Bull, and I just hang out in the crowd and talk to people. I mingle. The next thing you know, I'm on stage DJing, and they're like, "That's the fucking guy that was out in the crowd with us." They don't even know.
What trends do you want to see in the music industry in the upcoming future?
I just want people to keep being original. There's no point in copying somebody else's sound. Put it that way. I would like to see more originality. I'd like to see more networking locally, you know, because a lot of these, you know, the younger kids and stuff, they're too busy, you know, hating on another person or whatever. I just wish more people would network and, you know, collab together and shit like that.
What do you think is the best EDM trend ever?
The whole Plur thing. I know it sounds generic and cheesy, but it's a great message.
Dude, almost every person that I've interviewed for the 33 Club has said that.
The whole Plur thing, it's just great.
Give me some pointers. Like, what are some tips you have for me to get booked in these other bigger cities?
First thing you do is you got to start out locally. You got to build your name in your own scene. Got to get out there. Don't just email somebody and say, hey, book me. Go to their event. Meet them in person. Like, you know, just build a personal relationship with them. Don't just email somebody or Facebook like, hey, bro, I'm a DJ. Will you book me? Because it's fucking stupid. I would say no or ignore the person, to be honest.
Right.
So go out to their events. Get to know the promoters. Get to network with other DJs.
What advice do you have for these aspiring DJs and producers on how to just push forward?
Make as much music as you can. When I decided to be clean and sober, I stayed in the house for like 6 months. I spent a lot of time making music.
Nice.
And I mean, I was a good producer, but in those 6 months made me a great producer. Like, it really helped me build my, you know, my sound, you know, figure out what path I wanted to go on, shit like that. So
going kind of diving into you as a DJ again, what BPM do you typically mix at in your sets?
126 is my magic number.
Do you stay at 126 or do you increase or decrease throughout the night?
Up down to a little bit like 124 and up to 128. But pretty much between 124 to 128 is my style.
What got you into becoming a DJ and producer?
Kept me out of trouble.
What?
Kept me out of trouble.
Why is that?
When I was young, I was, you know, running around doing stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
Once I got involved with music, I spent just most of my time went into music. I had no time to get in trouble or do dumb shit.
I see that smirk in your smile, man. That's funny. This is always the interesting question. Pioneer or Denon? What do you prefer to play on?
Pioneer, just because I'm used to it, and that's what 98% of the clubs have.
Oh, don't say that.
Yeah, 98% of the clubs are going to have Pioneer setup.
Yeah.
Some of them might have Pioneer mixers, like a lot of some clubs will have like an Allen and Heath mixer, but 98% of the time those decks are Pioneer. I've never. One time it was at Guitar Center and I was messing around with the dead ends for like maybe like 10 minutes, and like
Yeah.
I really respect what they did. Like there's a lot of cool features and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't ever really see it overpowering and taking over. That's my personal opinion. I mean,
Sure.
Pioneer
Yeah.
is just industry standard. That's what's on. Don't they're like Laid Back Luke and a few others have Deaden on their riders. Well, everybody else, I mean, it's Pioneer. It's just with
Yeah.
it's what everybody has. It's what everybody's used to.
So Sladen, those are 33 questions. I think we did about 36, 37 or so in that time period.
Oh man.
Well, here's your time to shine now. Let us know what you got coming up. People who are watching, they want to know more about Funk Junk Records and Saladiin. Give us a quick little recap of what we can expect in the near future for you.
Well, as far as me personally, as Saladiin, you can catch me at Miami Music Week. I got a couple gigs lined up. I got some meetings lined up. I'm going to be bouncing around from party to party. So if you see me in Miami, please stop me and say hello to me, because I love shooting the shit with strangers. It's so fun. I have releases coming out on Play Records, Funk Junk, Tiger Records, Wild Card. As far as for the label itself, we have releases every once a week, booked through April. So you're always going to see Funk Junk stuff out there. And then, I mean, I'm always posted, I'm updating people on my career or personal life, social life, whatever. You can, all my social media is at Saladiin Producer. So you catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much, to be honest. I'm not a fan of it. But Instagram and Facebook is where I'm very active.
And guys, like we mentioned before, we have an awesome release coming out. Thank you so much again for that, Larry, getting me on Funk Junk. I've met a lot of great people like Brittany Beers, as well as Blackout. Those guys are killing it. Same with Brittany. So, dude, getting Brittany on, that opened doors with me and just for the future. That's a really huge help to me, man. So thank you.
Brittany.
For this video, Larry Saladiin has been very generous. He's going to be giving away a hat to the top comment. So if you guys want to win a Funk Junk hat, leave a comment in the description below. And for the US viewers, that's what we're going to do for you guys. I will be giving away a SKEDDY hat and a SKEDDY shirt as well. So for the best comment that Saladiin really likes, he's going to let me know, and we're going to get in touch with you for a hat that you'd won and for some merch from me as well. Larry Saladiin, thank you so much for being a part of the 33 Club, and also, as I mentioned, getting me a part of Funk Junk Records. I'm super excited to be a part of the label and the team. You guys have been building an amazing crew out there. Thank you so much for coming on. And where can people check you out one more time?
Social media is Saladiin Producer.
Cool.
Say hi to me, send me a message, talk shit to me, make me laugh, do something. Just hit me up, say hi, tell me you like my music, tell me you hate my music, whatever. Just keep me entertained.
Right on, man. All right, thank you so much for being on the 33 Club.
Thank you for having me, man. It was fun.
Cool. Thank you, man.